Hey everybody, welcome to G for G on YouTube. I'm your host, Napalm Don. So today I'm going to be doing a video that's got a little bit of a double focus over here. So for the first thing, I want to welcome people to finding out about the project if they're just becoming fans more recently. If you haven't done a download before or been on our Discord or Facebook or Reddit or everything, I'm going to put links in the video description to a fully patched up Beta 2 client. So you're probably wondering, okay, well, what does that mean? If you've never played Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux before, what it means is that you'll be downloading a fully self-contained highest version of the game currently to date, which is Beta 2. Previously, people had been getting Alpha 1, then they patched it to Alpha 2, 3, and then eventually Beta 1, etc., etc. If you have had a previous Alpha or up to Beta 1 and you download the file that I link, what you'll need to do is completely wipe out your old Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux directory, and then from there you can go ahead and download what I linked, and then you'll be up to date, which is the version that you see on the screen over here. So as always, when I go into these videos, one of the things I always have to say in the beginning of the video is there is not going to be a mobile version. Do not ask about a mobile version. Do not ask about release dates for Beta 3. Do not ask when is there going to be a final version of the game. Don't sit here and say, well, I want to play it, but the game's full of bugs and everything like that. Yeah, we fucking know, okay? That's why it's called a beta, and that's why it's a beta that has proceeded from several alphas beforehand. That's the point of alphas and betas, is that they have bugs. Most likely any of the bugs that you see here in Beta 2 are going to be well reported. You don't need to clog up the comments of the video section talking about bugs or bugs, Hank Pym, or anything like that. Believe me, we know. Aside from the bugs and everything, when it comes to mobile versions, look, I'm going to be super clear about this again and again and again until people stop commenting on it. For iOS, there is no way to get this onto iOS. iOS has the unfortunate conditional that you need to be jailbroken in order to sideload an IPA, which is a file type that iOS devices use. It has to be jailbroken, or you have to have one of those alternative stores, and this game is never going to be on an alternative or official store, so don't ask about that. Secondly, when it comes to Android, yes, you can sideload APKs, but we need to find somebody who can take the base game the way it is and compile it so that when it's added to an APK and it's installed and extracted and you attempt to launch the game, that the game is directed to find the rest of Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux on the device and has the proper directory structure. There is a video on my channel, you can look it up, where I attempted to do this and it fails past a certain point because we are not geared and we are not doing a mobile version. I hope that is ridiculously clear for the 500th time. No mobile version. And again, I want to point out to people that when the mobile versions were around, god damn it, when the mobile versions were around, the Android version was the absolute piss poor, most worst version of the game in existence. The only version that was worse was the Windows mobile device version of it. The Android version was so far behind, it was ridiculous. So to all the people who pop up now and are like, oh, give me an Android version, again, where the hell were you when you could have played it on Android and you knew it was the biggest pile of trash ever? Okay. Now that that is out of the way, this video was originally recorded many hours ago. I had my camera on for it, which is usually the indication of a super serious video. Whenever I turn on the cam, and I'm like, okay, it's going to be one of those videos where I want to look at the camera and make sure everybody understands me. Let me be clear about something when it comes to this project. I've seen comments recently that have disturbed me quite a bit. And there was a comment on Facebook. There was a comment on a recent YouTube video that was uploaded. And these are comments pertaining to the direction of the content development group. So that is the people who write the stories and the plots of the new game, and also the people who do the art of the new game, be it a sprite, an animation, background, portrait art, etc. These two comments have gotten me very pissed to read them. And it absolutely bugs me to no end when I see comments like this. So before I get into the two that have pissed me off recently, I want to relay a little bit of a story back when Marvel Avengers Alliance was live. So back in the MAA days, when I would do videos on the game, I had a guy come down to my comment section one time. I think the guy's name was like Vashu or something like that. And a lot of times in those videos, I had music from YouTube playing while the video was being recorded on purpose. Oof, God, wow, that's weak. Yikes, that is some weak ass damage from Spitfire. Man, that's sad to see. So I would often have music that I liked playing in the background of the videos. Now, I'm a bit... Oof. Wow, I hate seeing her damage. I can't use her. I literally can't stand to see damage that low from the great Spitfire. But I always tended to run music from sources that I liked. Okay. Wasn't that the life? Oh, that's because I clicked an ability and chose a different one. I know why that happened. Yeah, that's a common bug. I often chose music that I liked from out on YouTube. Now, I happen to be a big fan of a lot of the remixes on a channel on YouTube called OC Remix, which is Overclock Remix. They take video game music and people upload remixes of it, like Metroid soundtrack, Final Fantasy soundtrack, Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger, etc., etc. And I happen to have in one of my videos I believe it was a Final Fantasy soundtrack remix that was called like Crystal Remix of something. I don't remember which particular song it was, but it was like Crystal Remix of X and X track from Final Fantasy 4 or 6 or something like that. And I liked it, which is why it was in the video. So this guy Vashu comes to the comments of my video, says, "Music bad, don't use again." Literally, that's exactly what he said. "Music bad, don't use again." I said, "Excuse me?" It was like, "That music very bad, not want to listen. Don't use again." And I was like, who the fuck are you to tell me what music to use on my videos? You don't get to pick what music I choose for my videos. You have zero say in it. And he was like, "Yes, I do. I subscribe channel." And I'm like, oh, buddy, you subscribing to my channel doesn't mean anything. I'm not getting paid from it. I see no benefit to you subscribing to my channel other than the fact that you get, by the way, this gun right here is very good for the agent while we're doing the betas and everything. It does pretty high level damage. And there's that music bug, which is why I keep the volume like right here and handy. I was like, you all you do is you get notifications that I posted a video. That's all you following me do. And I went off on this guy because I couldn't believe the absolute balls that he had to just straight up say, music bad, never use again. I mean, you could sit there and say, well, Napalm, it sounds like it's a communication barrier there. No, that was like just straight up arrogance. And I'll tell you why I know that. A little bit later down the road, a week or two later, I noticed he had commented on a Kingfisher video. I found him down in the comments of a KF video. And he said, Kingfisher, do a video of... And it was some absolutely ridiculous team up. I mean, it was two characters that don't belong together at all. Like Scarlet Witch and Captain America. Just something fucking stupid. And obviously, Kingfisher just straight up ignored him. I mean, Kingfisher was not always very big on responding to his comments, but it just was straight up ignored. No reply whatsoever. So a couple videos later, Kingfisher obviously never did a video on the team-up Vashu had suggested. So Vashu's back in his comments again goes, Kingfisher, you never do video on Scarlet Witch Captain America. Do video now. And I'm like, that's it. That's it. This guy's getting blasted again. And I said to him, I was like, who the fuck are you to tell Kingfisher what to put in his videos? Your team up is completely stupid. They have no synergy. Why do you think Kingfisher would do a video on this team? And you don't get to tell anybody what to do on YouTube. He goes, oh, you here too? I said, yeah, dude, I'm everywhere. And I never heard from the guy again. I never saw him in Kingfisher's comments. He never commented again on my videos. I don't know if he stopped subscribing, but that situation has sort of, in a lot of ways, oh, that was an interesting bug, in a lot of ways reared its head again. And you can't hear it in my voice because it's very, very early in the morning. I'm supposed to be asleep, but I did something to my shoulder, and it's making sleep uncomfortable right now until I'm tired enough to just pass out through it. These two comments bug me to no end because they don't affect me directly, but I have a huge sense of pride in any team that I'm ever part of or represent in any way, shape, or form. And these comments have gotten me so mad because they've occurred so close to each other. So there was a comment on one of my videos, why doing new characters? We don't want new characters. We want working game. Make working game. Something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but not by much. The key there was a person said we and basically stopped doing the content reveals of these new characters like Boom Boom and Jubilee and Cullen and the animated sprites and everything like that. Monica Rambeau was Photon. That was all in there. Ulik from an Asgardian related Spec Ops that may be in the works. Again, I can't confirm or deny that type of stuff, but Ulik was revealed so we can talk about it. And then there was a comment on Facebook, why pick such no popular characters? In other words, why was the content reveal listing characters that were not exactly well known? I am so seethingly mad at reading those comments so close to each other, I cannot even begin to describe it. And this is what I wanted to pick apart in these videos. First, to the comment of why is there a content reveal of new characters and artwork and everything like that when the game is not fully working yet. I want to make it clear that the coding work being done by Goofy literally is across a Grand Canyon from what the content development team is doing. Those people writing stories, those people designing characters and gear and creating the animations like you see here for new characters, or their art and everything like that, that is because they are preparing for the future, for when the game comes to a working state and all of the existing content has been drip fed back into your grubby little hands. There comes a point in time where Season 1, Season 2, all the PvPs are done, all the Spec Ops are done, all the Covert Ops are done, and then you are left with the game as it ended in 2016, and you're like, okay, well now what? I've beaten everything. I have all the characters, I have all the weapons, I have all the lockboxes, all the comics. What do I do now? Well, the team is prepared for that by writing new plot, new stories, new Spec Ops, new Covert Ops, a mode you've never seen before called a one-shot to tell very concise and limited stories. There has to be new characters, otherwise the game stagnates. If you think about World of Warcraft with Blizzard, even Blizzard knows that with Classic WoW. Classic WoW is a retread of vanilla. They know that there is a point when everybody has beaten everything in Classic, including and up to Naxxramas, and they have to do something else, which is why they're sending a survey out about the Burning Crusade. So to sit there and say something and insinuate that development of the code of the game is lacking because people are focused on creating new heroes and new art and new plot and everything like that, it's just so fucking short-sighted and ridiculous. It's mind-numbing how bad that comment was, and how it smacks the content development team in the face. Not only because it shows a critical lack of understanding of what happens in game dev and how you have teams doing different things, but it's like, hey, I don't care about this 2-hour long set of double videos over here with this great content, including an often fan requested Jubilee that was 75% complete, instead of saying, wow, this is amazing art, wow, this is great animation, I've been so concerned that sprites would be lacking in the new game, and you guys are knocking it out of the park, and I'm so happy to see new characters and everything like that. You come to the video comments, and you're like, your focus isn't right. Fix the game, then worry about new characters. No. And you know what? Fuck you. That's utterly ridiculous to think that, and you're shitting on the work that everybody did in those two videos, which is utterly ridiculous. And I'm just so angry at seeing a comment like that. The other comment, the one from Facebook about why picking such unpopular characters, while I get that there is a small nugget of truth in that, the way it was worded was quite arrogant and, again, ridiculous. And second of all, do you not remember the original game? Do you not remember seeing Nico drop and Molly drop and wondering, what are the Runaways? I don't know that I've ever heard of the Runaways before. Or Phyla-Vell and Faiza Hussein and Knight America. There were original characters in there. There were some very low popularity characters. I mean, sure, when the game released, these first couple clicks over here, you know, all of them. But Black Panther hadn't had his movie yet. Wasn't super popular. Hercules, a lot of people weren't quite as familiar with his comic iteration of it. Valkyrie wasn't the most popular. Tigra wasn't exactly the most popular. And that's still the beginning of the game. Phantom X, not super popular. Mega Sentinel wasn't that particularly popular either. Constrictor, as one of the earliest lockboxes. I mean, that's almost like a Star-Lord Who. And then moving forward, you had in the content reveal, a lot of people mentioned they didn't know much about Moon Knight until he dropped in the game. Thane. I mean, for fuck's sake, Google Thane and you maybe get 3 hits on who Thane is. He's gotten a little bit more popular now, but when he was part of the game in those 4 years in 2012 and 2016, there was very, very little information on who Thane was. Let's see. There's definitely some others over here that were like that. I mean, the Runaways were mildly popular. Cloak and Dagger was low on the popularity scale until they hit this game, and then they started hitting other games like Marvel Battle Lines, and then they got the series. And unfortunately, the series is canceled, but like this particular iteration of Spider-Girl, did people really know about her? Spitfire, Spitfire, for as god tier as she was in the game, who really knew about Spitfire? And, we revealed Cullen Bloodstone, but Elsa Bloodstone isn't necessarily that well known. When she showed up in Marvel Strike Force, I literally watched the Marvel Strike Force community go, who? And I mean, for fuck's sake, Cammy. Who's ever heard of Cammy? So, your not popular is not everybody's not popular. And the point of releasing some low popularity characters is if they fit what the content development team is doing, then it's going to fit. And they're doing what they need to do. If you've never heard of them, then go out and research them just like everybody did when we were dealing with the played-on version of them. And we were dealing with characters that we had never heard of. So, again, I've pleaded with this community once before. Well, 1.5 times. Stop the talk of the mobile version. But also, a while back, when the alphas were coming slow and everything and people were getting riled up, I do not want to see in anywhere that is in my vision, whether it's the Facebook group, whether it's in my YouTube comments, whether it's on my Twitter or Reddit or anything like that, I do not ever want to see people going after the content development group or Goofy. If you're like, where's Beta 3? He's had forever. He's had like 6 months, 4 months, 2 years. Whatever it is that is going on for the people who create portions of this game, you need to realize nobody is getting paid for this. Nobody's getting paid whatsoever. Everybody is doing this in their free time. And the world has changed so dramatically right now with the itis that's going around. You might think, well, doesn't that mean people have more time to work on these things because everybody's home and quarantined and locked down? True, but that could be a major disruption to somebody's life. They might not be used to this. They may not be functioning well. They may be very stressed for friends and family or the potential risk to their own health. And they may not be functioning very well right now. So, I wholesale reject comments like I've seen lately about why new characters, and that one makes me really mad. I am really very angry at, that comment. And second of, another part of what gets me mad about that is the fact that the person said, we want working game, not new characters. Make working game first, new characters second. There is no we in that. And let me be frank, there is no we. Unless you roll up to the goofy fortress of Avengers with a crowd behind you with pitchforks and torches demanding to kill Dr. Frankenstein for Frankenstein's monster. Yes, I'm saying it that way on purpose. Unless there is signed affidavits and a change.org petition that you roll up to the Fortress of Avengerhood with, there is no we, it's you. Do not conflate multiple people when you mean you. That's utterly ridiculous to say we want something. No, no, no. You want something. And you know what? You're not going to get it, because this team is going to do what they need to do at the pace that they need to do it, the way that they want to do it. This video is strictly from my brain. I do not speak for them. I do not speak for Goofy. I do not speak for anybody on the team other than myself. And I can tell you, even doing videos, the 2 videos we did that night was almost 4 hours of work. And to see a comment like that, when I'm not even the one who developed any of what you saw in the video, but I still sat here for nearly 4 hours doing the first video, the second video, and redoing the first video without the live voices because of the recording getting screwed up. I'm angry. I am so angry at reading those comments. And something that I wanted to bring up over here to kind of give as an example. My girlfriend is an artist. She did this commission for somebody. It is an original Spider-Universe character that the person who commissioned her did. I questioned her at the time I made the first video. I was like, how long did this take you? And she said, well, you know, there was back and forth between I and the requester. If here's the pencil art, is this what you like? All right, this is what I'm going to do for the colors and the detail. And, you know, there's some rough drafts that get bounced back and forth. And then eventually it's like, okay, yes, this is what I want drawn, draw it. What you see here took half a week to do. If she was on the project and she did this art for a character release, say this is a brand new, this is a very unknown spider character that we put in the game, or make this model feminine and call it Spider-Gwenom. Let's say this is the art that she did for the team. And she did this art on her free time that took nearly half a week, and somebody said, who's Spider-Gwenom? I don't want Spider-Gwenom. She's not popular. Give me another suit for Iron Man. I would drive to where you live and I would smack you across the face. I would tie you to the back of my car and drive down a gravel driveway with your face if you said something like that. And that's how I feel for anybody on the team. She happens to be so busy with Patreon and her own commission requests. I would love for her to be on the team because I think this art is phenomenal. And I think if she can draw something like that, the team could really use her. But she can't because she's so tied up with her job and actual paid work. Remember that for people who spend their free time doing this stuff, whether it be Goofy on coding or the content development team for creating art and animation and stories and researching characters and coming up with abilities and spec op sets and gear and ISOs. They spend so much time on this shit. And for you to come into the comment and say why unpopular characters, or why are we getting new characters when we, quote unquote, want a working game? Fuck you. That's all I need to say about that. If I lose a subscriber, if this gets anybody irritated, I don't care. I care about this group. I care about those people not getting pissed off reading those comments. That's my take on that. And as Peter Griffin says, that's what really grinds my gears. So I'm going to warn everybody on the Facebook group, on Discord, on Reddit, and in my video comments, if I see comments like that ever again, I will dunk on your head so fast. And I might even consider banning you from those groups if you keep up this kind of attitude. Sit back, enjoy what is being given to you, and realize there is a dedicated team of people reviving a game that is getting very close to being 4 years dead. Nobody has to do this, and everybody is a fan of this game as much as you. So chill the fuck out. It's Napalm, signing off.